We are very pleased to now be welcomed by former Montreal Expo and 5-time All-Star. He's now a third base coach with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Tim Wallach. Tim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a very long time, I'm sure, since Montrealers have heard you in an interview on radio. How long has it been in your mind?
I would have to guess it's probably been somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 years, somewhere in that range, I would guess.
Wow, long time. It's been a bit of a resurgence in the last year or so here in the city in terms of baseball on the minds of people. It kind of was very, very sour towards the end, and nobody really talked baseball for a few years. But since the induction of Andre Dawson into the Baseball Hall of Fame, a former teammate of yours, it's been a little bit of a groundswell with some various activities, which we'll maybe get into a little later on. But wanted to get your take, I guess, on your time that you spent here in Montreal, which, of course, was very, very lengthy. You're the all-time leader in hits for the franchise of the Montreal Expos / Nationals. Is that something you're aware of, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I did know that. I'm happy about it to the point that I was there a long time and did some good things there, but I'm disappointed by the fact that right now nobody's going to have a chance to break that, and I wish they did, because I would love to still see baseball in Montreal.
You broke in 1980. Were there for a few games, but mainly your career as a full-time player began in 82, and you were a mainstay throughout the 80s in Montreal. Give us your impressions about how it was back in the heyday when the attendance was there and the Expos were a contender.
It was great to come to the ballpark every night. I believe I came up in 80, and the Expos were in the pennant race. And just to be able to experience that was actually pretty neat for me. You come up your first call up and have an opportunity to be in a pennant race. That's what you play for and coach for, and actually want to be around is when you're in the hunt in September. So I was able to be a part of that. 81, I was lucky enough to be able to end up a game away from getting in the World Series that year when Rick Monday hit the home run. But the fans were fantastic, and they were out there. They supported us. They were loud. And probably those first 4, 5, 6 years, we had pretty good crowds all the time. So it was great. It was like anywhere else when you have good crowds and they're excited and you're playing good baseball and giving them something to come out and watch.
Now, you're obviously with the Dodgers, and certainly Rick Monday associated with that franchise. Is that something that the two of you have talked about in the last little while or last few years?
Oh, yeah. I have to see him just about every day. So I try to remind him of unfortunately, I don't have to remind him because I can see it up on the board just about every other night. So they replay that all the time. So, but yeah, we talk about it. And, Rick's a good man, does a great job on the radio. And unfortunately, he was the guy that beat us. But we get along great, and he's a very good baseball guy.
You played with a lot of great teammates over the years in Montreal. Who are some of your favorite teammates or the guys that you were pretty close with?
Oh, gosh, I still have a lot of really good friends from my time in Montreal. But, Andre Dawson going into the Hall of Fame, Tim Raines, Tom Foley, Spike Owen, Scott Sanderson. I mean, I could name off tons of them. I keep in contact with so many of them. But that was the great thing about I think one of the great things about playing in Montreal is we were all in a different country, but we were all, we lived downtown in apartments where a lot of us would stay. So we got very close, spent a lot of time together, and I think that's one of the things. The wives got along great. They spent tons of time. The city was fantastic. It was safe. It was pretty much anything you ever wanted to do, you could do in Montreal. So we were very fortunate to spend as much time there as we did.
You were a multiple Gold Glove winner as well. It was one of the things you were known for. Was that something you took a lot of pride in? Was it something that you wanted to establish early on?
That's probably for me, probably the greatest achievement for me is winning Gold Gloves. That was when I first came up. I was a first baseman when I signed, and played a little outfield, played a little first, and then finally ended up moving to third base. And a lot of people were very skeptical whether I'd be able to play it. So, and I think that kind of drove me to work and to be as good as I could be over there. So that, to me, that's my greatest accomplishment, is winning a Gold Glove, and probably my proudest accomplishment.
You had some big years, obviously, in the 80s, including the 123 RBI season in 1987. You were around in 1989 when the Expos went out and traded for Mark Langston and gave up some prospects, little-known Randy Johnson at the time. When the Expos went and traded for Mark Langston, was that an excitement in the clubhouse? Did you feel like that might have been a missing piece?
Absolutely. We were going for it. We were in first place, probably into the middle to late part of August, and we just, it was a strange year. We were playing so well, and all of a sudden we started playing so poorly. It was frustrating, disappointing. We felt like we were good enough to win that year, and unfortunately we played very, very poorly the last probably fourth of the season.
You had a chance to play in 1991 earlier in this month, or rather in July. Dennis Martinez was on for his perfect game with Melnick in the afternoon, a 20-year history. What were your impressions that day? Was it something that was near the top of your career in terms of moments that you participated in?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. I was fortunate. I don't know if I was fortunate enough, but was no-hit a few times, and I played in probably 5 or 6 no-hitters that pitchers on our team pitched. So those are always exciting. Once you get to about the 5th inning or so, everybody knows no-hitters going on. But perfect game is one of the rarest things I believe there is in baseball. So from what I remember, there weren't too many close calls in that game. He was amazing that day, and I believe that Friday night, Mark Gardner had a no-hitter through 9 innings and ended up losing the game just a day or two before that. So if he'd have gotten a sacrifice bunt down in the 9th inning, I think we would have scored a run and he would have had one. I still tell that story to pitchers, how important being able to lay a bunt on is because of that. So, but that was an amazing day. It's something, you never forget those, especially when you're a part of them.